So today we're diving into the really strange world of one of nature's most famous mushrooms, the fly agaric. You know the one, the red one with the white spots. Our source material on this fungus presents a huge contradiction. On one hand, it's described as this absolutely terrifying poison with no known antidote. But on the other hand, the same text claims this exact same fungus is a powerful remedy for all sorts of illnesses. So how can something be both a deadly poison and a potential cure? Well, let's get into it. To try and unravel this mystery, we're going to look at 5 key things. First up, we'll face the mushroom's dark side, its toxic profile. Then, we'll take a head-to-toe tour of the truly bizarre symptoms it can apparently cause. After that, we'll explore the 4 distinct mental stages it can put someone through. We'll also look at what makes its effects better or worse. And finally, we're going to tackle that big question. Is it a poison, a remedy, or somehow both? All right, let's start with the danger. Because to really get this paradox, you first have to respect just how powerful this thing is as a poison. The source material is crystal clear on this. This is not something to mess around with. Right off the bat, the source points out something that is just sinister. Imagine eating this and feeling totally fine for up to 14 hours. You'd think you were in the clear. But then, when the symptoms finally hit, it's way too late. And the most chilling part? There's no antidote. Doctors can only try to manage the symptoms as they pop up, basically fighting a battle without their most important weapon. So what's behind all this chaos? Well, the source points to one specific chemical, muscarine. You can think of it as the mushroom's main active ingredient. It's an alkaloid, which is just a type of natural compound, that can have really powerful effects on us. And in this case, its main target is the brain, which leads to the wild intoxication we're about to get into. Now, the source makes a really important distinction here. This is nothing like being drunk. It's described as way, way more intense, with much worse vertigo and delirium. It causes this deep, heavy sleepiness, but at the exact same time, the body is going haywire with jerking, twitching, trembling, and this unbearable itching. It sounds like a total nightmare. And believe me, those first symptoms are just the beginning. The poison's effects just ripple through the entire body. Our source gives this super detailed, almost encyclopedic list of what can happen. And honestly, some of it is just incredibly weird. So let's take a tour, from head to toe. This quote right here really gets to the heart of what the source describes. Sensation as if pierced by needles of ice. I mean, that's not just pain. It's a very specific, cold, sharp feeling. And this whole theme of icy pain just keeps showing up again and again in the descriptions. It's a chillingly vivid detail, for sure. Okay, let's start at the top. The effects on the head and face are described as being just profoundly disorienting. It's a mix of dizziness, a feeling like you're constantly moving, and some very, very particular kinds of pain. I mean, look at how specific these are. A headache that feels like a nail is being hammered into your skull. An icy cold head, that feeling of cold needles running through the nerves in your face. It's not just, oh, I have a headache. It's this whole collection of bizarre and deeply unsettling physical feelings. But the toxic effects don't stop there. Of course, they spread outward to our senses and our limbs, affecting everything from how we read to how we walk. The impact on the nervous system is just huge. According to the source, your vision gets so distorted that words on a page look like they're moving around. Your ability to walk is shot with this unsteady, trembling gait. Even your toes and feet are affected, with an itching that's supposed to feel just like frostbite. And in the worst cases, it can actually lead to complete paralysis of the legs. The mushroom's effects go way beyond the physical, though. The source describes what's almost like a dramatic 4-act play that unfolds inside the mind. It's a journey of cerebral excitement that follows a predictable and, frankly, terrifying path. And here's that 4-act play. It starts off with this kind of deceptive good feeling. You're cheerful, courageous, talkative. But that quickly melts into Act 2, full-on intoxication, with confused talking and warped perceptions. Act 3 is the climax, a terrifying, furious delirium. We're talking screaming, raging, and even trying to self-harm. And the final act is the crash, a deep mental depression where you just feel apathetic and confused. This quote just perfectly nails that second stage of intoxication. It's not just about being confused, it's a complete distortion of reality. Your perception of size and distance is just gone. The world around you becomes this warped and probably terrifying place.
So, you might be wondering, are there things that can make this horrible experience even worse? Or maybe better? Well, the source material actually gets into that. It outlines specific triggers that can crank up the symptoms. And it also introduces us to the mushroom's chemical arch nemesis. This list of things that supposedly make the symptoms worse is just fascinating. Cold air, eating, even an approaching thunderstorm, all listed as triggers. It's such a strange mix of environmental and physical factors. And what helps? Apparently only one thing, just moving around slowly. Now, chemically, the source introduces this really interesting relationship, muscarine versus atropine. You might have heard of atropine. It's another natural compound found in plants like belladonna or deadly nightshade, and it's basically presented as the total opposite of muscarine. So for instance, muscarine makes you produce more saliva and tears, while atropine dries you right up. They're chemical opposites, locked in this kind of biological tug of war.
So, after all that, we've spent all this time building up a case against this mushroom, right? We've gone through the terrifying symptoms, the psychological torment, its raw power as a poison. Which, of course, brings us right back to the central mystery we started with, the paradox at the very heart of this fungus. And let's not forget this number, 12 to 14. Those are the hours of silence, that deceptive calm before the storm hits. This long delay is a key feature of its danger. So keep that number in your head as we confront the other side of this mushroom's personality. And just in case you weren't fully convinced of the danger, the source makes some absolutely chilling comparisons to other very well-known poisons, and it does not pull any punches. Seriously, think about what's on this list. Rattlesnake venom, the toxins from cholera and diphtheria, two of the most feared diseases in all of human history. The source even claims it can dissolve red blood cells. So we're not talking about a mushroom that just gives you a bad stomachache. This is a substance being compared to some of the most lethal things on the entire planet. And yet, after all of that, here comes the twist. The source we've been pulling all these quotes from, it's not a book about poisons. It's a materia medica, which is an old school term for a book about healing substances. All of these terrifying descriptions come from a text about remedies. This deadly poison is being presented as a form of medicine. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. The source claims this mushroom can be used as a remedy for the itching you get from frostbite, just like the itching it causes. For the nerve pain that feels like icy needles, the exact sensation it creates. For the twitching, the tremors, the delirium, the poison is the remedy. The symptoms it causes are the very same conditions it's said to cure. This right here is the heart of the paradox. And so that leaves us with the big question at the core of our source material. On one hand, you've got a poison with terrifying power, on par with rattlesnake venom. On the other, a potential remedy that seems to work by mirroring the very symptoms it creates. And this brings up a much deeper question that goes way beyond this one mushroom. Where exactly is the line between a poison and a medicine? Is it just about the dose, or is there something else going on? That is the enduring and fascinating puzzle of the fly agaric.